Well, good morning, YouTube. Goal today is I'm going to try to primer this thing. Well, there she blows. I was mixed, but the primer's covering really well. This door looks almost perfect. Well, I mean the big part of it. This side's real good. Got a couple little things. A little more on the back of this. Glazing putty is going to take care of most of this. I've got a few highs in here. I need to straighten this ridge out here. I've got a little rough spot around this door, not much. I've got some here on the back of this. The front of this door, I've got a high that's been welded in here. And I've got the top of this door that needs some care. And then I have to fix this front A-pillar. Basically, I'm just going to be putting body filler on it and sanding this all down smooth so there's no metal showing. Well, here we are on the passenger door. You can see there's about a 1/4 inch, 5/16 gap. It looked good at the time. I'll show you the other side. Here's the driver's side after I worked on it. It's got just a little over 1/8 of an inch. It's pretty tight. This top gap is pretty tight. This is sticking out a little bit right there by that hinge. Go back to the other side. This one's sticking out a little above the hinge, but I've got a pretty big gap in here. It's mostly straight, but this whole door really needs to come out some. And if I look up in here, this is a pretty huge gap, and I've got a lot of rough stuff. The reason that this is rough, or part of the reason, is I couldn't weld a plate all the way up in here. So what I did do is foam it. And you can see my seal is good in here. So what I need to do is fill this all up with bondo and get this sealed. And I probably ought to fill the rest of this up and get this whole door across here straight. This part's alright, but I got quite a gap in there. Smaller at the back, bigger at the front. This whole gap here really needs to be sorted out and made to be quite a bit smaller. So when I first did this, it was good enough, but since I made the other door so much better, I'll have to fix this. So I'm just gonna put bondo spreaders in there and fill it up, sand it down, and see what we got for a door gap first. Well, I stuck some spreaders in here. I'll have to decide what I'm going to do about this piece right here, whether I match it or what. But this can fill everything up in here, and I'm going to the body part for my fill, so my door edge will remain straight. So I'll mix some stuff up and see what we get. Well, there's a vertical fill done. It's all you know, width of a bondo, 1/8 of an inch, or a bondo spreader. And now I'm going to have to bring the door out to match this edge. Across here, this is pretty close. I did this once before, but I can kind of feel there's a low right here. So I'm going to bring this whole thing out, and I'll do the same up here in this top of this door. We'll get this horizontally in and out, and get that sanded off and see what it looks like. Well, this door's taking a lot more work than I thought. I got it pretty good right here, but this part I had to extra build this top bead up and get this one flat where it's matching this cowl. That's pretty close. I just hit it with a board sander straight across there. So I think one more fill coat here and I'll be good with that. I was trying to get this out, but it looks like it's low right here. Now I had this where it was perfect. I had made that door gap there, but thing is, it moves in just a little bit, but that's where it's going to stay permanently. So now I can go ahead and fill this up, probably 2 or 3 inches right across there, and that should fix that part. I just threw bondo on 6-7 inches on each side of this. It went right into the gap, and then I just cleaned the gap up. I'll let this harden good and take the board sander. I should get a pretty decent surface across there. We'll see in a minute. Well, that's hopefully the final coat. It was sanding pretty heavy right in here, so I think it's going to be good enough for me anyway. I'm getting part of this cleaned up. Let it dry and sand it one more time and clean up that gap. Press on to something else. Finish up this part, I guess. Well, that's done finally. Door gap looks really good again. I still got to work on this some more up here, but this took quite a bit longer than I expected it to, but it's good. I'll move on. I finished this up pretty much, put a flood on it. So I got quite a bit of work. I get the top of this door here and the armrest, but I'm pretty close. I'm gonna get tired of sanding and body work. This DA beats me up. I'm gonna go in, it's hot, have a bite to eat and a nap, come back, hit it with this little cooler. Well, this is about as close as I'm gonna get it. I still got quite a bit of more sanding and trimming up in here around the front of the windshield. But these are fairly small places. They're really not going to keep me from getting it in primer. And honestly, I'm just sick of sanding on this thing. And this is what's going to go on it. U-Pol again. It's a 4-to-1 high build primer and hardener. I'm going to mix up one gun, probably an 1/8 of this, and spray it on here and see what kind of results we get. Well, there she blows. I was mixing about a 1/2 quart up at a time. It didn't go that far. I didn't do the roof, but I got the rest of the car. It's kind of dark in here. Looks good. I still have some work to do to it. Just in time, my little air compressor relief valve stuck open. So the hood looks real nice. I've got some little fine details in here. Nothing real bad. Stuff I knew I needed to get. But the primer's covered really well. This door looks almost perfect. Well, I mean the big part of it. This side's real good. Got a couple little things. A little more on the back of this. Glazing putty is going to take care of most of this. Sanding will take care of the rest. But it looks good. It's straight. So even though I was just pushing on it, trying to get this thing finished, there's a lot of stuff I could have done. I could have seen that in the bondo. And I still haven't finished that door, but I'm just tired of sanding on this thing. At least now it's one color. And kind of not surprisingly straight, because I knew it was going to be straight, but pleasingly straight. Probably take me another day fixing little stuff. It's kind of dark over here right now. I can't really see much of what's going on with that, but this was real good in the bondo, so I think it'll be real good here. I was having some trouble with the gun. Looked like I had some oil or something in it. I don't know what it was. Probably some of that rust converter that I was spraying in there. So I kind of struggled with the first gun full. And this paint thinner I tried here wouldn't even touch it. But my buddy had some acetone. That thinned it. I got the gun cleaned up and sprayed real well. So I was able to put a 6 or 8 inch pass on there, and got the Primer on real nice. It's kind of glossy. You know, I'll do this up with glazing putty, finish all the little stuff, and then I'll just sand the whole thing again with 80 grit on the DA, and that should make it real smooth. I used maybe a quarter of this U-poly stuff, so I think 1 gallon is going to be enough to do the car. I still got to do the fenders, but I got one pretty good coat on here. Should fill all of my 40 grit scratches, or most of them. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for sticking with me. Got some rough work to do here, but this hood turned out really nice comparatively. It's all straight, looks good. Sure makes a big difference having it all one color. So tell a friend, help support the channel. Sure appreciate you. Bye bye.